Greetings, my beautiful lovelies, it's Emmy and welcome back. Today I'm going to be making a recipe that claims to make donuts just using 2 ingredients. 2 ingredient donuts. Brilliant, right? But what will they taste like? That is why I'm here. I'm gonna make these donuts, I'm gonna taste them, and I'll let you know what I think. So this recipe comes from Emma's Goodies. Many of you requested that I test out this recipe, and I will put a link down below to the original video. Okay, let's make this. The 2 ingredients, because you're wondering, are self-rising flour and plain yogurt. 2 ingredients I happen to have. So self-rising flour has become Maui, the shapeshifter of the pantry world, particularly during lockdown when things like flour and yeast are difficult to find. Self-rising flour contains baking powder and a bit of salt. It's often used to make biscuits or crusts or pastries. Today we're going to be making donuts with it. And so that's what's going to make these donuts rise. This combination of the baking powder with the acidic yogurt is going to create CO2 bubbles, carbon dioxide, which will make the dough airy and light. And once we fry it, we can call it a fritter or a donut. But what will this taste like? There's no sugar or really any kind of seasoning or flavoring in this dough. Emma says all the flavoring will come from the toppings that we will put on the donuts. But then that suddenly pushes us into the realm of 2+ ingredients, right? If we count those other ingredients, it's much more than 2. So we'll taste the donuts plain and then we'll dress them up and see how they taste that way as well. So I've got 140 grams of self-rising flour, or self-raising flour if you're from the UK or Australia, and that works out to be about 1 cup. Next, I'm going to add 190 grams of plain yogurt, which works out to be 6.5 ounces plus 1 tablespoon. Complicated, right? Okay. Add the yogurt and I'll mix that in. This is pretty thick, so I think I'm going to switch to a spatula. So this looks like it's going to be a pretty thick dough here. Really thick. Look at that. Now we're going to put this in a piping bag, but is this going to be pipeable? I'm just going to heat up some vegetable oil here. While I have this dough, I'm going to test out a couple versions. So I've got a couple piping bags here, one that has no tip at all, and one that's got a 1M tip. I thought maybe I could try making some churros. So I don't have a lot of dough, so I'm just going to do that much in this one. Get the dough on the bottom of the bag here. Okay. Now I've got a tray here lined with some paper and a rack, and we'll drain the donuts onto there. Alrighty, so I'm gonna heat up my oil to about 325 degrees. So once it's up to temperature, we're gonna go ahead and fry. I'm just about at 325 degrees, so let's go ahead and fry. I'm gonna take my thermometer out. So we're just gonna use our pastry bag and squeeze and snip. Squeeze, snip. And Emma says these are going to sink, but not to worry, they'll float up. So mine definitely sunk. I'm keeping the faith that they'll pop up though. Maybe a little shunk would be okay. Yeah, give them a little nudge because they want to stick. So as soon as they hit the bottom, give them a little press. Because mine definitely want to stick to the bottom of my pot here. So keep turning them because they're going to brown up pretty quickly. I have to say that's super fast. Oh, I just had an Auntie Fee flashback. Something sweet for the kids. Oh, Auntie Fee. Churros, churros, gotta love the churros. I have made churros before and they are delicious. I used Hyla's recipe, they were amazing. Churro corn dog, amazing. Squeeze and snip. Squeeze, snip. Squeeze, snip. All right, let's see. Those are golden. So my churros are a little bit stubby. The dough is really thick, so it's hard to kind of get a nice extended squeeze. Plus, I didn't have very much batter in there, so a true churros dough has egg in it. It's more like a cream puff recipe. So although this might have a similar shape, I suspect the flavor is going to be different. But why not? Let's try it. All right, we got a cute little batch of donuts here. Let's go ahead and give them some flavor. First one I'm going to do is really simple. I'm just going to use powdered sugar. Just going to toss in some powdered sugar. Swirl those around. It's reminding me of road trips. Whenever we go on a road trip, my husband gets a little sleeve of those little donuts. Those look pretty stinking cute. Next, let's do the churros, and we'll add some sugar and a bit of cinnamon. Toss these in there while they're hot. Yummo. That's so good. That combination of cinnamon and sugar, it smells so good. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. A little selection of donuts. 250 grams of powdered sugar, which I did not weigh out. Got 2/3 of a stick of butter that I've melted up. 250 grams of powdered sugar. Whoops. Whisk that up. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. 2 or 3 tablespoons of milk. Just so this thins out to a glaze. Wow, I used up all my milk almost. So that was about 3 ounces, it said. And we're going to add and glaze them. Glaze the donuts. That's my favorite donut, a glazed yeasted donut. That's all I need. I don't need chocolate. I don't need cinnamon. I just need that sugar and leaven. Oh, look, that's so beautiful. Emma says we should allow these to dry a little bit on a rack so they kind of crust up, you know, like we like them. You can make a chocolate version just by using the same glaze and adding some cocoa powder. A couple of these in there to get our chocolate version. Ho, 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 ho. I'm gonna do the same thing. Put them on a tray. Let them drain and dry. Have you seen the glaze waterfall when they go through the belt and they go through the like, I want to go through there. I don't, not really, but I kind of do. All right, my beautiful lovelies, check out the panoply of donuts. That came together super fast, and look at the selection of donuts. I got a little donut shop. Can't wait to give these a taste. Let's give the plain one a taste first. Alrighty, here we go. Itadakimasu. I think the first thing I noticed is the texture. They've got a bit of a chew to them. They're slightly rubbery, and while they did fluff up and they are completely cooked, they're kind of dense. These actually, I think, would make pretty good savory fritters as well. Something kind of like a hush puppy without the cornmeal, because there's a little bit of tanginess that you can taste from the yogurt. And they do taste kind of donutty because they're deep fried dough after all. The texture is just not quite there. And they're not sweet at all, but that may change entirely once we have them coated in something. All right, let's try the powdered sugar version. Here we go. Now that's more like a donut. You've got that really great melt away sweetness on the outside, but again, the texture's not quite there. It's very chewy. Now let's try the churro version. I'm super excited about this. I love churros, especially when they're fresh and hot. All right, here we go. I love the crunch of the granulated sugar and all that cinnamon in there. A homemade churro is wonderful because they get kind of custardy in the middle and they're so rich because they have egg in them. Now, this doesn't have that, but this is still pretty delicious. You've got that chewy texture, but I think it goes really well with the crunch of the granulated sugar. Somehow that works better with my preconceived notions of what a churro is, because on churros, you bite them and you chew them. Somehow the chewier texture works better than the donut hole. When I eat a donut hole, I think of a fluffy, light little center of a donut. So the chewier texture works better for me in the churro state rather than the donut hole. All right, let's try my ultimate favorite, the glazed. All right, here we go. Yeah, I definitely like that one better than the powdered sugar. You've got more sugar there. You've got a hint of vanilla. You've got that buttery flavor, and you've got that little crackle of the glaze. Yeah, that one. All right, let's try the chocolate glazed. I was surprised because I was a little disappointed. My chocolate glaze didn't turn out super chocolatey, even though I put about a teaspoon of cocoa powder to a relatively small amount of glaze. But having said that, the chocolate glaze filler is spot on. It tastes just like the chocolate glaze that you get at a donut shop. Again, the texture's not quite right, but the flavor, definitely. So in both the chocolate and in the churros version, I did not taste the tang of the yogurt, but in the others, the ones that were just doctored up with a bit of sugar, I could taste the tanginess of the yogurt. Not a drawback whatsoever, I just noticed it. So there you have it, the 2-ingredient donut. Technically, it does not just have 2 ingredients if you count everything that's in the glaze. Not bad. I was very impressed with how quickly these came together. You can make a very fast dessert in minutes. Just the time it takes to heat up your oil, really. So yeah. But do you want to be making instant donuts? Yeah, I think you do. Thanks again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Let me know what you want to see. I read all of my comments. And yeah, toodaloo. Take care. Bye! We just put our face in the glaze.